All right, good afternoon, everybody. Today is Tuesday, April the 15th, 2025. It is 1:30 p.m. in the afternoon. The Josephine County Board of Commissioners will now meet for the county administrative workshop. We'll start off with a declaration of potential conflict of interest, and then we'll go into executive session after that. So we'll start with you, Commissioner Smith.
Well, it possibly could be. I see none on the agenda, but I'll declare that possibly could be a conflict of interest simply because I'm a resident of Josephine County.
Thank you. And Commissioner Burnett?
I also declare no conflict of interest that I see. I do want to declare that I am a citizen of Josephine County, a veteran, business owner, and a member of many clubs. And I don't see a potential conflict for today.
Okay, thank you. And I would like to declare two items. Those are 3A, this in regards to the business at the airports. One is something that I, as a pilot and a tenant at the airport, utilize on a daily basis, and also agenda item 5A, and this in regards to the mining advisory committee's recommendation. And I just want to disclose that I was a member of the mining advisory committee and also the chair of that committee at the time that this recommendation was put forth. And that was last year and the year prior. All right, with that, we'll
Sure.
Yes, please.
Would like to declare a potential conflict of interest known as item number 2C, 210 Tacoma, Civil Air Patrol. I'm part of that organization, although I'm not directly involved in their tenancy over there, but I am the region command chief. So that does fall under our umbrella of units, and that could be a potential conflict, but I don't see that that's going to be on the agenda today. Just wanted to disclose it.
Okay, thank you.
You bet.
All right, today is Tuesday, April the 15th, 2025. It is now 1:32 at the Josephine County Board of Commissioners. We will now meet in executive session for the following agenda items. And those are part of the legal counsel update. In executive session, item A1 is non-payment of license fees under ORS 1926602H. Item 2 is county property known as 210 Tacoma, ORS 1926602E. Item 3 is notice of claim, ORS 1626602H. And lastly, number 4, county cybersecurity under ORS 2P. 1926602P. Thank you for that correction. All right, accredited representatives of the news media and designated staff shall be allowed to attend the executive session. All other members of the audience are asked to leave the room. Accredited representatives of news media are specifically directed not to report on or otherwise disclose any of the deliberation or anything said about these subjects during the executive session, except to state the general subject of the session as previously announced. No decision may be made in executive session. At the end of executive session, we will return to open session and welcome the audience back into the room. Accredited news media, please identify yourself. Thank you. The recorder and all recording devices, including cell phones, will now be turned off. Okay, welcome back, everybody. We are back in session. It is now 2:06. And we've got a legal counsel update. First item is in regards to the non-payment of license fees. And it was decided we would direct staff to move forward with the collection of those fees. Item C is the county property known as 210 Tacoma. And we're going to discuss the project ahead of us right now, and that is the lot line adjustment. But we can move forward with that in our packet, and we have 3 bids that were presented to us. And I would entertain a motion if somebody would like to make one on if we wanted to use one of those vendors or otherwise.
Chair, do we have to address 2 first? The non-payment of license fees.
Just did it.
We just went ahead. We don't have to make a motion on that one.
No, just instructing staff to move forward on that. So yeah, we don't need a formal motion on that. But item C we do, and this is the 210 Tacoma. Again, this is the surveying part of that.
I'll make a motion that we accept the lowest bid because it really doesn't matter. It's a survey. So I suggest we save money and take the lowest bid on that lot line survey.
Okay, so if I understand you correctly, that is to go ahead with a contract with Mead Surveying. I believe they were the lowest.
Yeah.
And, okay, so we have a motion
I second that motion.
and we have a second. Any more discussion on that?
No,
Commissioner Burnett, any discussion?
Nope, no.
Okay, with that, please call the roll.
Commissioner Smith,
yes,
Commissioner Barnett.
Yes,
Commissioner Black,
Yes.
motion carries 3-0.
Okay, and then the next item is D, and that's a renewal of the information technologies contract. And entertain a motion on that. Something would like to,
I'll make a motion that we approve the two information technology renewals presented to us in executive session
and
necessary for county operations.
I second that motion. That's an important part of county operations as well.
okay, we have a motion, a second, any discussion?
We discussed it pretty thoroughly in executive session. I have no other questions about it.
I have none, Chair, as well.
Okay, I just want to confirm that those are for two different contracts that we're talking about. Okay, please call the roll.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes,
Commissioner Barnett.
Yes,
Commissioner Black,
Yes.
motion carries 3-0.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to agenda item 3A, or hang on, before you leave, Counselor, I just wanted to bring up the ordinance regarding the meeting schedule. We talked about that, I believe, last week. Is that something that you're working on to get us ready for when we do make that decision and make it more permanent?
I can start working on it,
Okay,
and I shall do that.
okay, thank you.
Ah,
All right, now we'll move on to agenda item 3A. This is in regards to the airport. A1 is the DBT, Transportation Aviation Support and Maintenance Services Order Summary. So we have airports manager here. Please come on up and can you give us a briefing on that?
DBT is our sole provider for maintaining the weather observation system. It's required by FAA. And it expired 12/31. And if we don't get this signed today, we're going to miss the 4/28 schedule for the next visit.
oh, wow.
It's only $167 more a year from the last contract that was signed.
that's
Okay.
necessary for the weather station.
Yeah, it's required. Otherwise, we lose the
That's
instrument
required
approaches.
off the plant airplanes, right?
Well, it's required for the instrument approaches.
So if the weather's inclement.
Yeah.
Okay, any questions for Mr. Christopher?
No, I think we went over this one time before.
We did,
Yeah, we
and
did.
at this time, I'd entertain a motion to go ahead and approve his request to sign that contract.
for the POA, Chair.
It's actual, what is this, a contract?
It's a service.
Oh, service, okay.
I make a motion to approve that.
Okay, we have a motion, I'll second it. Any discussion?
No,
Okay, seeing none. Oh, roll.
Commissioner Smith,
yes,
Commissioner Barnett,
Yes,
Commissioner Black,
Yes,
motion carries 3-0.
okay, and so we'll have that for us for signature, so before you
I
leave,
have the
there's.
original.
You have the original, okay, before you leave this afternoon, I believe we're gonna go ahead and execute that because you're under the gun for the time on that. Right, next item on the agenda is item number 2. This is the independent fee estimate to the Grants Pass Airport. Yeah, come on up, Sherry.
hello,
Good morning.
afternoon.
Right, can you give us a little brief on what we're talking about right here?
The independent fee estimate is required by the FAA to fund a grant. And basically what it is we have an engineer of record, which is Precision Engineering. And he presents a scope of work. In this particular one, it's a design for taxiway A and construction for the runway. And the scope of work is presented. Independent consultant, he estimates the cost and so forth, and comes back, and the FAA requires that it be within 10% of the engineer of record. If that, and we do the negotiation, they sponsored us in negotiation to bring that in line. Then once that's completed, it's then gets sent back to the FAA, and then the sponsor's certificate of consultant is in play. So it is required to meet the grant requirements, the FAA grant requirements.
It's an FAA for me.
Yeah.
Okay, and then so just to confirm, there's two components to this. One is the extension of runway 13, moving the threshold further to the north. And the other component is the extension of taxiway alpha. And that is both parallel, and I believe there's a run-up area at the end. There's a turnaround or
Yeah.
widener area.
At the very end, right?
Right.
Okay, any questions for?
Well, so the grant we're seeking on this, would this pay for both of these? Okay, partially pay for it, how much are we county gonna have to put in?
It would be 95%, and then the county would be the 5% to match. And normally what we do is we bring in, we do an application to ODAV, Oregon Department of Aviation, for a percent of that match. And then it comes down to, in this particular construction one, we're looking at like a 1% match that the county does have. Does that make sense?
So this has been in the works quite a while. to
Yes, it
extend
has.
it.
Oh, yeah. This, I believe this has been in the works for 6 years. Is that-
2000.
It's been in the works for a
Well,
while.
the reason I
2000, so, okay, 2008.
The reason I say that is I got phone calls from people who live out by the airport before as a commissioner, concerned about this project.
Concerned in what? What is?
Noise, the extension of the
Oh.
runway.
It actually helps reduce noise because the planes that use the longer runway don't have to use as much throttle. Because they have
They
the.
take off.
Or you're gonna release that to the public so they got an idea.
Figures the power up
We've got a
aspect.
few
will
people
minimize
watching
the-
here right now,
Yeah.
they'll know about it.
I mean, a
Okay.
shorter runway requires, full power to take off, but a longer runway, they just don't have to do that generally.
Yeah, I understand that.
Any more questions for staff
Yeah.
here? Okay, then, would we like to, are you under a time crunch for this?
No.
So, we can move to the
Yes.
WVS on Friday, or do you need right away?
We're kind of under time.
We're under a
Time
time
They are in a
crunch.
time crunch.
Okay, and then in that case, I'd entertain a motion, to approve it.
Chair, I'll make a motion, for item number 3. Number 2, independent fee estimate for the Grants Pass Airport to be approved.
Okay, I'll second that. Any discussion?
No,
None.
Please call the roll.
Commissioner Smith,
yeah,
Commissioner Barnett,
Yes.
Commissioner Black,
Yes.
motion carries 3-0.
Thank you. All right, next item is, I believe, for you too, at the airport is limited power of attorney for land development permits relating to county-owned real property. That's at 1441 Brookside. And I understand this to be for construction of
Development permit
development
for the
permit.
for
the hangars?
Yeah,
For the hangars, right?
hangars.
Yeah, for the
Yeah.
4 that are being,
Yeah.
Constructed right now.
This should be the last permit before we start construction.
okay, again, then my question is this a timely matter too here? Is there,
Sooner we get it in, the sooner we can start construction. We're ready to start.
okay, so it's ready to go. So I entertain a motion to give him that limited, the airport's manager, the limited power of attorney to move forward with this project.
And it's only on this permit.
Yes,
yeah, only on this.
we've got it in our
Only on
packet, yeah,
this.
only on this.
On this one, yeah.
I'm just gonna keep coming back every week.
Yeah.
It's okay, things are happening.
I'll make a motion, Chair, on approving item number 3A3, limited power of attorney for the land use and development permit relating to county-owned real property at 1441 Brookside Boulevard to progress in the construction.
Okay, I'll second that. Any discussion?
No,
Okay, please call the roll.
Commissioner Smith,
yes,
Commissioner Barnett,
Yes.
Commissioner Black.
Yes.
Motion carries 3-0.
Okay, great. Thank you for that. Next item on the agenda is a finance report and business update. And we have Director Sellers here. Speak to that.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Again, the chair has directed us to talk about some of these invoices that come through. As you all know, the board has signing authority for everything over $25,000. There are some regular bills that come in on a regular basis that are over that number. They are budgeted items, so in the past, they had just kind of been approved, but the chair wanted to start bringing some of them to the attention of for the whole body to approve. So the first one we're going to talk about is the Pacific Power Bill. Again, I want to be clear, the directors that typically manage these bills are not here. They weren't asked to be here, so I will answer what questions I can. But for example, this bill, the Pacific Power Bill, for $32,719.91 is the bill for the month of April for the county. It includes 72, or well, it's not quite 72, but it includes quite a few locations. There's the number is 72, but they're not all sequential. So, Mr. Chair, I guess I should probably let you leave with that.
Yeah, so we've got, this is just like we have our own personal Pacific Power bill. These are itemized. This is a summary bill for all the meters that the county is responsible for. And as the director said, no other directors are here to speak to them. I thought that it was important that we at least have a chance to look at these. So we have an idea on what's going on. Obviously, these vary throughout the seasons depending on the electrical load. As do our Avista bill in the winter times, because we use the natural gas for heating. It was my desire to just have this in front of the three of us.
Just to
So that
kind
we're
of get an
cognizant,
idea.
yeah, we're aware of what's
Okay.
going on. I hate to be asked at some point in time, do you even know what our Pacific Power bill is?
Correct.
And here we'd at least have an idea and have an understanding. And also have it in front of you to that if you look at there and you see an address and you wonder, that looks like one of those departments is very frugal with their electricity, good for them, or the opposite may be true. You may want to investigate that on your own. But that's all that was. This was like an FYI kind of thing.
So the county is paying for all these buildings that are on the sheet.
All these meters, yeah.
Yeah, all these meters.
And you can tell the very first one, that's the courthouse there.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I see it.
Obviously the largest one.
Yep.
And they go down to pretty small stuff. All right,
Okay.
do we need a formal motion or this? I
Um,
know this is in the process, normal business.
I think the first two would be without objection. The third one, I think we should have a conversation about it, and then the board can decide what they want. Again, in the past, the practice has been, if it was budgeted, which it was, then if it's approved, it just gets approved. So this is a variation from how things had been. So in the spirit of accountability and transparency that the board's asked for, that's why it's here. So
Okay,
without
no,
objection,
this is good. Good to see.
Okay, so we do the Pacific Power then without objection?
Without objection.
Without
Okay,
objection.
so obviously we'll pay that one, so we're good on that
Yep.
one.
The next one is from forestry. Again, you can see the detail on there. It's under operating supplies. This is a normal thing. Again, they were not asked to be here, so I don't want to speak for them. But this is in the normal course of business, is my understanding.
Okay, I just wanted to let my colleagues here know that I did reach out, I have an agricultural background. I reached out to one of my consultants back down in my farming days and asked them to take a look at these products to see if the pricing was in order of what it should be, and he said they were. And so I did some research on that. Just want to let you know that this vendor is
It's good.
charging us the appropriate prices for these products, so.
I appreciate it, Chair, that you know a little bit about that business to understand if these rates were too high or not.
And we'll bring a different skill set to the table.
Yes, we do.
So this is the cost of doing business to grow trees and make money.
It is, absolutely, absolutely. The money doesn't just grow on the trees on its own. We have to keep feeding them and keep the competitors out. So
Yes.
without objection on this one too,
Without objection.
Director? Yes, without objection. All right. Anybody object to this?
No.
All right, without objection, we approve that one. And then the third one,
The third one is a progress invoice regarding the sewer line improvement out Brookside Boulevard. It's signed off on by the folks that are including our public works director. So I don't want to speak to it, but there's quite a bit of detail here. It is it's in line with all of the estimates that were provided. So it's just a big number. So I think
it
that's
is a
why
big
it's-
number, and then just for fellow commissioners here, this is ARPA funding that is paying for this.
Not the county.
No.
Yeah, this is ARPA.
All ARPA money paying for this. This was
Could you explain what that means, ARPA, for our listeners with ARPA stands
American
for?
Rescue Plan
Act.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so this is, and then just to give an update, this is happening down at the airport at Brookside. This will give the opportunity for the airport to have water and sewer, only the airport. And this is a long time coming. And as a tenant user at the airport out there, they think this is really great. Obviously, it's not going to cost anything to the county. They're working and from last I heard that they are ahead of schedule and maybe under budget. So that's good news.
Oh, that's a good thing.
So with this one, because of the size of it, you want us to make a formal motion?
If it pleases the board.
Yeah, I think I prefer to. So with that, I entertain a motion to move forward with payment of this invoice here as presented from the vendor.
I'll make a motion to approve this invoice from Knife River for the sewer and water lines to the airport.
I'll second that motion, airport and sewer line extension bill.
Okay, any more discussion?
No,
Please call the roll.
Commissioner Smith,
yes,
Commissioner Burnett,
Yes.
Commissioner Black,
Yes,
motion carries 3-0.
anything else from either? No, thank you. Next item on the agenda is item 5A. This is the draft ordinance recommendation from the Josephine County Mining Advisory Committee. And it's my understanding this in regards to 515 of the code.
all right,
Okay,
Correct.
and then this has your name on it, Commissioner Smith.
yes.
So I'll let you begin.
Don, you wanna come up and speak to this? I think this is a project you all worked on in the committee, right?
Yes, yes, it is. I'll explain what this is. There's two documents in there. This started back in February 2024. The first document is a revision that the county did of the existing mining ordinance. That's the one that's got stuff lined out in there. The second document is the revision that the Mining Advisory Committee did. We saw some inadequacies in the one the county did. So Commissioner-elect was the chair at the time. And so he's got personal knowledge of what we did. And you have questions, I'll try to answer them.
Well, I've read through it. I don't see a problem with it. I don't know if legal counsel has reviewed this. But that's something that probably needs to happen. And Wally's not here, so I don't know if he's reviewed this or not. So this will require, if we go ahead with this document, will require our signatures and approval from legal counsel also.
Just a matter of housekeeping, will this ordinance start with the 2023 number? No. Anybody know?
Nope.
No, we don't know. Okay, right, so where we are right now is, are we at the ordinance level yet, or do you want to come up here? Will? Want to make sure we follow the process here. So we have an advisory committee, which has made a formal recommendation to this board. This board has the opportunity now to review that recommendation.
Yes.
And then turn it into an ordinance. So right now, this is informative.
Yes.
And we will put this on a WBS.
That's your prerogative.
Okay,
Probably should go there, Chair.
yeah, absolutely. Well, it has to, if it's gonna be.
Yeah, let's make it 2 readings.
Yeah, it has the 2 readings, so. Okay, any discussions or questions for?
Well, I would ask, council, have you reviewed this one that the draft that they put up?
June 20, I don't know, Don, June 12th, that doesn't sound
Yes,
like,
June 12th is the date.
have I?
I
think-
don't know.
You don't, I'll take a look to confirm.
Yeah, I would like to read this. I'm not knowledgeable enough in the mining industry to understand some of this stuff, so.
I think part of what the advisory committee was doing was trying to bring some mining experience into the ordinance, so it was made sense to the people who are gonna do the mining.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
because if you don't understand the industry, sometimes your jargon is not the same, your definitions are not the same. And so they actually went through and made a lot of good definitions here in the beginning of this, which I think are important. So there's nothing that's misunderstood when somebody signs one or gets involved in it, so.
So if I remember right, the original 5.15 in the code dated back to the 1980s.
Yeah.
And so we have.
Something like that, yes.
Okay, so we, thank you, Chair of the Mining Advisory Committee. We now have these in our possession. We want to have a chance to review them, confer with council, and then schedule it for WBS.
Yeah.
To see if we want to move forward with it. Yes.
Do we send it to CESP Consulting or not? Is there interest in that?
Well, yeah,
You got
I
those
think,
guys?
yeah, I think that would be prudent. So maybe we should do that very first.
Okay.
So in that case, I would entertain a motion to have CESP be the first set of eyes to take a look at that, and then once it comes back, we'll move it forward.
I'll make that motion to have.
Well, hang on, just before you do that, I'm sorry, just hang on one second, yes.
If there are any, questions that come up about, you know, lack of understanding, what have you, of what we drafted, we would appreciate, you know, being appraised of that. So that we have a chance to, oh, well, we screwed that up, you know.
Absolutely.
I don't know whether that should happen before or after the consultant. You want to do that after?
I think my thoughts would be, let's have the consultant take a look at it and comment on it, and then you have a chance to rebut or ask questions of that, and then if the board feels that your comments or suggestion need another look at it, then we can send it back, but I don't think so. The revisions made here are pretty straightforward. There's, we're not.
And it is a draft, so.
Yeah. But yeah, you'll definitely, the Mining Advisory Committee would absolutely have a chance to take a look at it.
Don't worry.
Right, then with that, now I would entertain a motion to have this moved to our consultant for review.
I'll make a motion that we have our consultants look over the draft for mining orders.
Great, I will second that, and then any discussion?
No.
I want to be clear that we maybe have an understanding of what we're telling the consultant to do and have a parameter as to the cost of what this is going to be, because I understand the consultant is paid on an hourly basis.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. Would it be prudent for us to put a cap on there, or we put it? I mean, if somebody threw you a document, say here, review this,
Sure.
It's kind of vague and.
Yeah. He's reviewed prior drafts.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, he knows what we're looking for, but should we put a cap on the cost, or?
I think forestry director would probably appreciate that if he was here. He's pretty cost conscious about this topic.
Okay.
He's not here.
No, he's not here today.
So our consulting firm has seen the draft as these things progressed.
He's seen a draft. I think it was a February draft. It went back to mining advisory. Maybe there was further edits done. I don't know. That's why I'm asking you, Don.
Yeah, Dave Streeter would know whether this document, which is the original that we got from the county, that we revised with this one. Dave should know.
Yeah. The February draft went to Brian.
Okay, then,
So that's why I'm looking at this June and it's
right. That one, I doubt if he's seen,
Okay, got it.
because you saw it first.
Now that June one, I don't know about. That's why I'm not gonna say one way or the other. I don't know. I honestly don't know if I've seen the June draft. But February, I do remember seeing it.
Okay, so just to recap, we're going to do what now? We're gonna still have the consultant review it, and it's gonna come back to us. I hate to sound like this, but we've waited a long time to get to this point. Is it gonna harm anything if we wait till next week till we make the formal motion and then put some parameters on that? We want to be prudent and descriptive on what we're asking the consultant to do. We don't want to.
We want to get this done well.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, so let's just call this an informative meeting here, since you presented this to us. And as the Mining Advisory Committee Chair, if you, once we hear back, correction, could you put a request in to put this on the agenda for next week? Yeah, a week from today, and then we'll move forward from that. Let's give us all here, I'm familiar with it, but it'll give my fellow commissioners here a chance to get up to speed.
Is that gonna give the consultant sufficient time?
Well, I don't think we're going there yet.
Okay.
Once all three of us are comfortable, then we'll go to the consultant and then move forward from there. That's my thought, unless somebody has otherwise. No?
It's an ordinance. We should check the Congress, make sure it's right.
Every law.
Yeah,
So it's a big deal.
okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Chair.
Yes,
Is the motion withdrawn or did it die for lack of a second?
it died.
Thank you.
Next item is item 5B. This is United States Forest Service letter of collaboration.
Yeah.
And this is, I believe we have in our packet that letter. Is this one we're talking about, Commissioner Smith?
Yeah.
Item 5B in our packet. This
Yes.
is addressed to Merv George.
Yeah, we'll have to adjust this with date and forest supervisor's name, but it was a letter drafted by the advisory committee wanting to know what lands were locked out of for prospectors and miners. Basically, we want a map delineating what areas are off limits to travel, basically. We want to know where they're locking us out of this land. So
Okay.
that we have a say-so in some of these areas, because we don't want to lock up land that has good prospecting or good possibilities behind locked gates. So this is a letter instructing them, could you please make a map showing us where all of these gates and all these off-limit roads are? Which is, I think, is reasonable.
Okay, so if I understand you correctly, you want to retool this letter?
Yeah, the letter's fine. We just need to redate it and address it to the current forest supervisor.
Okay,
The BLM district manager is the same, so it could stand just like it is with readdressing it to the new forest supervisor and a correct date on it. And then this needs to be signed by us.
okay, so would you like to work with staff to
Sure. Not a
put that
problem.
together and have it ready for next
Not a
week?
problem. No, not a problem. We'd like to get this over there. I'm sure these guys have been chomping at the bit for a map like that.
Okay, all right, so you'll revise it and have it ready for next week?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay, all right, thank you for that. All right, next item is item number 6. This is other. This is where commissioners may introduce other matters for consideration by the entire board. Commissioner Smith, do you have anything that you would like to?
No, I'm waiting to see what the end result of Senate Bill 762 is. I don't know about the end results, or I heard they're pulling them out. I don't know if there's been a vote in Senate. Anybody know where they voted, Senate voted? So I'm wondering what will happen with that and what will happen with all the code, new building code that they're trying to push down. So just a tidbit. If anybody knows, I'd like to know. I don't know if anybody has heard yet, but it's been a big deal.
Okay, thank you for that. Commissioner Barnett, do you have anything under other that you'd like to?
Yes. We have what they call community development funds. So what good are we doing investing back in our community? We do have money set aside for that, to go to organizations and things that help. There is a sponsorship that comes up. It's the second biggest event in Oregon. It's called Boatneck. And what Boatneck does, the Active Clubs are a nonprofit organization that contributes to the youth of Southern Oregon since 1959. The Grants Pass Active Club has held Boatneck every Memorial Day weekend along the Rogue River. And they're one of 2 fundraisers for the group of volunteers and takes all year to plan. All the funds that they raise from Boatneck are returned to the community by supporting local children and youth programs in Josephine County only. Now, the club has donated hundreds of thousands of dollars over the past 50 years. And this is an organization that has their festival, like I said, second biggest event. I noticed that the city of Grants Pass, they are a sponsor. Josephine County has never been a sponsor that I'm aware of in recent years. So we do have these community development funds that are in there. I did check into it and they are allocated. And would like to make a motion to see if we can be one of the sponsors. There's different levels and Emerald kind of fits what we could do.
Okay, just to confirm, you're talking about the community economic development. funds.
Correct,
Okay,
correct.
Okay. All right, and then there's different levels of sponsorship. You referred to something like an emerald one. What
Yeah,
is yours?
there's Ruby, there's Emerald, there's Platinum, and Emerald would be a good place for us as Josephine County. It's a very conservative sponsorship. Like I said, the city of Grants Pass is a very similar one. And it would be nice to see Josephine County actually be part of this second biggest event. And actually, it does good things in our community. Like I said, this is part of the funds. The city has them as well. And you put them back into the community. And this goes back to our youth programs and children of Josephine County.
Okay, and what's the dollar amount for that?
10,000 for the sponsorship.
Okay, so if I understand it right, you said you would like to make a motion or you are making a motion?
Yeah, I'm making a
or-
motion that we do it. Mhm.
Okay.
There's other projects that we have that we haven't done anything with, but this is the first one under our board that we could do this under this economic development fund.
So we have a motion and do we have a second?
Second with discussion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, but yes, please, discussion.
Do we know that we can actually use those economic development funds for this kind of a thing?
Yes, so the monies are there. That we want.
Yeah, Director Sellers.
Yes, sir. Commissioner Barnett asked about this earlier. Economic development funds are essentially lottery dollars that are allocated to Josephine County for this type of purpose.
Yes.
For example, we use things like we pay our Chamber of Commerce dues with it. That's what they're for. I also spoke with the budget officer to make sure it was an appropriate use, and he indicated that it was an appropriate use, that's what they're for, is this type of activity. And there is the funds there. There's quite a bit of funds there.
And these are those lottery dollars that we were talking about. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yes, sir.
Because I wanted to explain that. I just was going in, but the lottery dollars that we generate. So they want us to do good things. Well, we're trying to do good things in our own community. Within the county only.
Okay, so this is an active club function.
It is an active club. They're all
And
volunteers.
They're all volunteers and the money that they would use is primarily to be used for putting on Boatnik
Correct.
and other activities that
Mr. Chair, I can speak to it if you like. I've
Yes,
been a
please.
member of the Grants.
It's a big fundraising.
Yes, please.
Full disclosure, I've been a member of the Grants Pass Active Club for 20 years. So the Grants Pass Active Club is an all volunteer organization, so we have no paid staff. All the money that the Boatnik raises goes back to the community in forms of donations. Even the operations of Boatnik itself is done in a donation fashion. For example, you'll see people operating, say, putting cones out or operating a gate. Those are youth organizations that get paid to do that by these sponsorship dollars. So that's how that works.
And I've seen it in action, Chair, where year after year after year, I see this committee, the Boatnik, they're at events, the Active Club, and they're giving money to schools or helping youth or putting playgrounds in. They're doing so much good in our community. It's unbelievable. And it's probably the biggest organization that we have that does that goodwill in our community. So.
Okay, any more discussion then?
No,
Okay, let's please call the roll.
Commissioner Smith,
yes,
Commissioner Barnett,
Yes.
Commissioner Blick,
Yes,
motion carries 3-0.
okay, thank you. Anything under other for you, Commissioner Barnett?
I think they're more of a, oh, I did have one more. Friends of Country Living. I have this was brought to my attention. We talked to it a while back. They're out of Sunny Valley, Oregon, and they're passionate for the community of Sunny Valley. They have the covered bridge, Grave Creek Bridge over there, covered bridge. You familiar with that bridge over there? It's pretty historic. And Bright New Century is doing a phase 2, and this is a collaboration with our Public Works Department. to revitalize the historic Applegate Trail interpretive kiosk, making it more engaging and accessible for visitors. It's a refurbishment of the aging structure that's already there. They're gonna make it more interactive, more safe, and they have lighting out there as well. But bringing this project to the residents and tourists of Josephine County, it gives a little piece of history to maintain what we have over there at the covered bridge. So they're asking for a match, they get matched, and Public Works has 2,000 that they could contribute to this. And I did check with Mr. Brandis, the director, and any match for this would come out of Public Works. And those dollars originate from the county's allocation from the State Highway Fund. So those are the dollars that would be allocated for this, because it is a road project. So that's what,
It is a road project. And, okay.
yeah, so they're asking, and I'm just bringing it to your attention that they would like to do this, and they get dollars matched. But the county can have a part in this, and it comes from Josephine County Public Works.
Okay, I think this is something, it's unique that we don't do very frequently. I'd like to have this presented at the WBS.
Okay.
Preferably the people that are asking for it, if they could come.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah,
And
actually, that would be great.
on Friday.
They have contacted me many times, and we did talk about it a while back, but we have not acted on it. So they're getting to their end where they really need a decision. So yes, we'll bring it up at WBS, and I'll put a note to have some of the representatives that are meeting. How's
Yeah,
that?
and Director Brandis, if he's the
Yes,
one that's
absolutely.
sponsoring it, so to speak. Okay, great, thank you for that. Anything else under other?
I think mine's gonna be an announcement, and that's it.
Okay, then I'll go ahead under other, I want to bring up under other matters, this in regards to the WBS. We've been having the WBS on Fridays, and I just want to kind of tee it up in that Fridays appear to be not the best day, and possibly looking at Thursdays at 10 a.m. I just wanted to just bring this up as something to think about. I know that we would need a board order to do that on a temporary basis, and then an ordinance. And that's why I asked council about looking into that, since we're going to be most likely changing it to something other than what it is right now. But I just wanted to bring that up
Okay.
as something to think about.
I know we were trying this out to see if it
Yeah.
worked,
Yeah.
and we've given it a little bit of time.
Yeah,
so-
and I think what we're doing is we're fine tuning it.
We are.
Wednesdays was good, Fridays appeared to be good. I think now I'm talking to staff and the three of us here, talking about it right now, possibly Thursdays could be good. But anyway, I just wanted to just bring that up. All right, that's all I have under other. We'll go to additional subject matters. Commissioner Smith, you have anything?
No, I have nothing.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Barnett?
Yes, one of our missions is to get out in the community more and get to many different avenues to let people know and what we're doing. And we have an opportunity now to be on the Bill Meyer Show, which is 99.3 Grants Pass, 106.3 FM in our bordering county, and AM on the 1440 dial. They do have a podcast. Bill Meyer has a talk show that talks about issues to our community, and this will be an additional thing that we'll do. And we've got invited to be on their show every other week. So it'll be a bi-weekly show, 8:10. It gives a chance for individual commissioners to be on the show. Also to highlight our department heads and give them an opportunity, because the whole point of the vision is I want our taxpayers to know what we're doing in their community, and I want them to know their departments that work for them, because they're paying for this stuff. So this is another outlet that we're going to be doing, and we kick it off tomorrow at 8:10. So just an announcement I want to let you know on.
Okay, can I ask a question to that?
Yes.
When you say we, I want to be clear on how that we is. The we is not, we're not going to the station like we had done in the past. Or is this a call-in type thing?
This is a call-in type thing, and which it makes it more convenient for us. as a board. And it can rotate around whoever's available on those every other week. Cassie, our board secretary, we can keep a schedule of who wants to do it and when. And they are call-in, so it's very convenient for us, so our schedules can sync. You can be anywhere and still do an update. But we would like to do that on bi-weekly instead of just once a month. And this gives us an opportunity to get another outlet to be out there more.
Okay, thank you for that.
You bet.
And I have nothing under additional subject matter. So with that, we will adjourn. It is 2:47. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice afternoon.